Right guys, what is happening? Welcome to the channel. Yes, I'm not wearing a clean t-shirt today, or I'm not wearing clean trousers. I've been grafting all day and I just thought I'd sneak a couple of videos in while the kids aren't here, because as soon as they're here, they're going to tear up my house, they're going to make noise, I'm not going to be able to get no shooting done. So forgive me for wearing what I'm wearing, guys. It couldn't wait. Let's get into this video. This is recent from GB News. Gay white men are protected class, or a protected class. Furious clash over murder of 30-month-old Preston Davey. That's absolutely awful to hear. Let's get into this video. I'm going to give my thoughts, my reactions. Disclaimer, I know nothing about nothing. Now, if you want some decorating doing, that I can help you with, and that I can professionally advise you with. But I know nothing about politics. I'm just on here because I want to vent out, it's therapy, and I like to get my thoughts across to you guys. And if you appreciate that, thank you ever so much. If you don't, and you don't like me pausing and things like that, no worries, I understand. Maybe just switch to another channel if that's not your thing. But if you're going to stay, let's get into this video right now.
This isn't a laughing matter, unfortunately. This is disgusting. 13-month-old beautiful baby Preston was sexually assaulted, tortured, and then murdered eventually by the two gay men who adopted him. They beat him, they abused him, and they killed that tiny baby. They took sexually explicit photos of him. There were multiple chances, however, to save him. Hospital visits, bruises, broken bones, that only started happening the moment he moved into this house with these two men. Social workers, doctors.
That's absolutely awful. That's absolutely disgusting. I've got no words for it. I've got no words because it'll probably get banned off YouTube or something like that. I think I'm thinking what your guys are thinking of what these two men now deserve.
Nurses, police, even a home check that was done just a couple of days before he died. They all saw the red flags, they all wrote it down, and then they all looked away. Why? Because despite being paedophile killers, they were a gay couple, a white middle-class gay couple, a protected class. Terrified of homophobia smears, the system gave them kid gloves instead of protecting little Preston. Preston's life was blighted from the moment he was born to a mother who was in prison. He was handed into fantastic foster care for 9 months, who loved him dearly, and then into the care of monsters, because liberal ideology trumped child safety. It wasn't a failure, it was cowardice that got Preston killed. So rip up the system, I say. Let's just have one rule for everything.
You know, and Rupert Lowe says if he gets in, he'll get a vote on the death penalty. These two guys would be first in line for that, wouldn't they? We all know that. No one's going to disagree with that, whether you're on the left or whether you're on the right. You know, I just hope they never see the light of day again.
Judge a human by their character. No protected classes, no more looking away. Scrap the Equality Act, which does this. Baby Preston deserved justice. Every child deserves justice.
I just want to push back a little bit on that, because
it's a shock.
When I look at this case, you know, that kid was the same age as my son, and you're right, I think it's absolutely abhorrent, disgusting. But I've seen people talking about the fact that they're gay as some sort of indicator of them. I think these were just bad.
Sorry, did I do that?
That's what.
No, did I do that?
Okay, let me say, the whole DEI, you know, the people who've looked at it. I've seen case after case after case.
She didn't say that, though. I didn't say it. I'm not going to let you say it.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But this is the inference a little bit, like the whole protected characteristic side of stuff. I just think what you've got is a care system that is failing everybody.
Do you know what?
That's how I see it.
You make me feel sick nearly every week when you do this. I did not say that because they were gay, they murdered a baby. I did not say that.
You talked about them being middle class or the rest of it.
Finish, Trey.
Okay, go on.
Again.
Go on.
I said that because they were gay, the people that should have protected Preston looked away.
Yeah. Where's the evidence for that?
Let me speak. The evidence is coming. They've already said it in lots of it. They were scared of being smeared, of being homophobic. I have seen child protection cases.
Why is everyone scared of being called or being labelled as something? Look, it's going to come along anyway. It's going to come along. Am I scared of being called a coconut? Am I scared of being called a Bounty or a Kinder or an Uncle Tom? No, I'm not. I'm not scared of anything. Well, I'm scared of a few things but maybe I'll ask when she's not in a good mood. But I don't know, it's just, maybe it's because of the livelihood. I guess because I work on site, you can basically say what you want on site. It's 99.9% right wing. So you can say what you want, you can complain, you can F and blind it. You know, they're all really, to get kicked off site and fired, you have to be doing something that no one would agree with. So I suppose working in these other places, maybe they think, well, I've got a mortgage, I've got a livelihood. Can't be saying that, I don't want to get fired. But at the end of the day, now, we've got Henry Novak that's dead because of that. And we've got this baby that's died because of that. And we've got 3 young girls at a Taylor Swift dance class because of that got murdered. Because they saw the sign for Axel Rude Cabana. They saw all the signs, but yet they didn't want labelled as racist. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but if there's anyone out there that feels like something is a bit dodgy, something's not right, and you're scared because you don't want to report it because you're worried about being called racist or being called homophobic or whatever they're going to label you as, if you think that it could possibly endanger someone, then build up the courage and tell them people, tell somebody, tell the police, do whatever you need to do in the right way to make sure that everything is okay, despite the consequences. Because if something did happen on your watch, like these people that have turned away from that baby, I don't even know how they could look their own children in the eyes.
I have been a paediatrician in a hospital, and let me tell you, if they were a brown or even a working class or a traveller family, they would not have sent that baby home. I've seen it at work. But this was a middle-class white gay couple. They didn't kill Preston because they were gay. They killed Preston because they were evil human beings who were paedophiles. So don't put words in my mouth and try and turn a story every single week to push back a little bit.
I agree. At the end of the day, look, listen, these were bad people, but I said it again, it's not necessarily you. Wait, let me just say it, because you've spoken. There are lots of people, maybe not you, who have been looking at the fact that these are 2 gay men as somehow that gay, not you. But let me just say it again one more time, not necessarily you. And I think what we're missing is this. This was a poor, defenceless child that couldn't even speak.
Oh, I missed that, yeah.
I think that's the bit that I felt outraged. I'm not saying you, but I think a lot of people have actually made this about the fact that perhaps they're gay men and maybe gay men should be adopted separately from you.
We're talking about my monologue and the point I'm making. We're not talking about a lot of people out there that you've been... We're talking about my monologue.
But listen, until we get the evidence that these failings happen because they were middle-class gay, then fine.
So why do you think they did ignore bruises and broken bones then?
Because a lot of kids get ignored in the system. It's a system that a lot of kids get ignored. I think it should be absolutely overhauled. Yeah, we're seeing case after case of a lot of kids getting ignored in the system, in the care system. It happens a lot of the time. If somebody in the hospital writes down, as they did in this case, the injuries are not consistent with the story the parents are telling, that baby doesn't go home.
Yeah.
But this one did.
Yeah, actually, my friend, his little girl, fell off at the sofa, and he's a good dad, really good dad, and she's from a loving family. She fell off at the sofa, but because he was in the kitchen, they asked him, no, it weren't that. No, it was this. She'd bumped her head somehow. He didn't know how she'd done it because he was just in the other room when she did it, and they wouldn't let his daughter go home with him that night, and his mother. So his daughter had to go into care for a couple of weeks or whatever until they assessed the home situation. And he's a really, really good dad, fantastic dad. So they are on it. They are.
Let's bring base. I just think what you're doing right there is the exact same thing that they done with the grooming gangs. Saying that it had nothing to do with Islam, it had nothing to do with cultures, it had nothing to do with ideologies. What is your proof? And it had to do with the fact that these are just bad people. I'm so sick and tired of this. We need to get back to the nitty-gritty of why people are doing this. There is no denying, and I can't pull up the evidence now, but people can easily research this, that gay men and gay couples are more prone to not only just domestic abuse amongst each other, but child sexual assault with their adopted children. So we have to get to a point.
Where's the evidence for this?
I said I don't have the evidence with me.
So it's
now.
just... Okay.
Now, I've seen it, and hopefully when I go online after this, I will post it. But the statistics are out there. They've been proven time and time again that gay men are more prone to more sexual deviancy. Now, I'm not saying this is the case for all men, but the statistics are out there. What we need to do is what she said, is we need to stop having protected class, and instead we need to look at statistics and react to these statistics rather than just reacting to the fact that she said it is a gay man and a gay couple. Because I saw what you did. You tried to put words in her mouth and say they assaulted her because he was gay. No, that wasn't the case.
That's not the case.
Yeah, no.
Man, I've only just noticed, I'm sorry, but like, he's proper dark-skinned, isn't he? Because Based and Bougie is black. I'm brown, she's black. He's blick. He's really, really dark-skinned. She actually looks mixed race compared to him. I don't even know why I'm bringing that up. It's not, you know, dark skin's beautiful. I'm not saying it in a bad way at all. I'm just noticing the skin difference. It's.
And sadly,
let's get back
and look,
to.
can
Let's
I
get
just
back
say?
to the. No, wait, no. I need to come back on this. Let me come back on this. Wait, let me just do two things.
Well, then let's hear from Lizzie because we haven't heard from Lizzie.
Look, I just want to say this case made me feel physically sick. I couldn't even read it. It's so terrible.
Disgusting.
And I've got to say, I am sick of hearing this cliched phrase of lessons will be learned. Well, when? This should never have happened. And it makes me so sad that the social services aren't challenged, aren't assertive enough because they're scared of being homophobic or being called, like we saw in the Henry Novak case, being called a racist. Right. This has to stop. And my heart is broken for that poor little boy. It is absolutely so sad.
We just need to get rid of protected classes. Yes. We're going to sit here and say that we're equal. Let's treat everyone equal.
Everyone the same.
That means we don't give special treatment to black people. We don't give special treatment to gay people. We don't give special treatment to Muslims, and everyone is treated equally. Because the more we allow to give these people protected, just protection, the more this will continue. So why not just stop it now? We already have seen the statistics. I can't bring it up. I go online.
You talk about statistics, but there is no statistical evidence that gay men are inherently more sexually driven for assault than heterosexual men. I would really like to if you can bring your evidence before again, then let's go ahead with that. But I'll come in here on one thing. I take your point, Renee, about this, But to elaborate on one of Trey's points, which is about the system and how it's completely broken, we know already that it's not even cracks, people falling into the cracks of the adoption and foster care system. It's totally broken. A Kids Place for Adoption, even just last year, fell 22%. That's in 1 year. It's a huge bottleneck of adopters, so 750 families, so 3 times as many as even just a year earlier. There's 55% rise.
Still doesn't mean you ignore injuries when they arrive.
But I agree. And Base does have a point actually in terms of, this is something we saw as well in the grooming gangs case, a multi-agency failure where actually they're not all these different groups within government, local government especially, don't talk to each other, aren't resourced, they haven't been resourced.
Sarah Sharif.
Exactly.
Nobody tackled that abuse. Why? Because she had a headscarf on and they didn't want to appear Islamophobic. And
but can I just come back to one thing that you said? You said that scrap the Equality Act will solve.
I did.
But this is about culture. If you are making the point, and I take it that people have now got to the point where they're scared of being racist, they're scared of being homophobic, and so maybe don't speak out as they would in other cases. Culture's not set by laws. That's not a new phenomenon that the Equality Act happened. Suddenly everybody was scared.
How did culture do this?
No, culture does do this, because if you actually look at the Pride festivals and you see these grown men twerking in front of children, you can now tell me that some, not all, some gay couples do get turned on when it comes to
such an absurd reach, Base.
We see
you
it.
know that.
We see
you know that. A celebration.
And pretending to be dogs. We know they have kinks, not all, but some of them do have these very awkward kinks. This Pride Festival. So
I've got a friend that's gay. No, should I have said that? Damn it. Imagine someone that's gay. I know someone at work is gay. And that person at work, they'll have an open relationship. A safe open relationship, but 2 guys think along the same lines, they're more promiscuous. and they both come to the same conclusion. I want to sleep with other people. Do you? Yeah, I was just thinking that actually. Whereas, like, when you're in a relationship with the opposite, it's probably the guy that could be thinking that on a slight chance, but it's probably going to be the missus that says no way. And it's probably going to be the guy that says no way. I want to do it, but I don't want you to do it. So when you've got two males, the relationship is definitely more promiscuous and more open and free to walk about on a beach with no pants on. Do you know what I mean?
Don't we act on this?
So would you want gay couples to stop being allowed to adopt kids?
No, I wouldn't.
Please?
I wouldn't. I think that they should be able to go through some kind of. They need to be assessed properly.
What, differently or properly? Because
everyone should be treated the same.
Because you said that gay men statistically, potentially, are more likely to do that. So I'm thinking whether you think they should be treated different. And again, apologies to you, Dr. Rennie, because I wasn't trying to. I think what they said.
I don't think they should.
Is what I'm talking. It sometimes goes down this road of gay men are therefore more likely to be dangerous.
My monologue, and that's
what I'm talking about. No, we're talking about whole system.
Okay, I just think, as I said at the end of that, I'm not calling for anyone not to be able to adopt. I think children need families, and that's it. But I do think we should scrap the Equality Act and judge a person by their character, not the colour of their skin.